Welcome to Success Superstars, your place for inspiration and the blueprint of success for peak performers just like you. And my special guest, Sonia Graham. Sonia, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
All the way from JPAR, Maryland.
Yes, sir. All the way from Maryland. It's
Yeah.
sunny today.
Well, it's raining here today, and I think I shared with you I was born at Fort Belvoir, Virginia.
Yeah, that's right. And I think I shared with you, I used to live in San Antonio.
Yeah, there you go. So, well, welcome to the show, and thanks for coming to share. How long have you been in real estate sales?
I got my license in 2015. So almost 7 years?
7 years. And before that, what did you do?
Oh, a plethora of things. I was a bartender on an army post. I was a paralegal. I was a 911 dispatcher. I worked at a bank.
Well, I'm an Army veteran, so I know being a bartender on an Army post, that is tough duty.
Oh man, it was at first, but it was honestly a really, really fun time in my history. I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed hearing the soldiers' stories, and I really enjoy those memories.
Well, some of our best and most successful real estate agents are former teachers, nurses, and bartenders, because you have to have a really high EQ and be able to
Yeah.
carry on a conversation with anybody. And that skill must have translated to your success here. Did you find that to be true?
I think so. When I decided, I guess, to be a realtor, it wasn't really technically anything that was on my radar, but we were actually looking for a home in Maryland, and my husband at the time saw a advertisement for, we're hiring, and he was like, "Hey, you were a great bartender. You've been great at every job that you do dealing with the public. You'd be great at real estate." And I was like, okay. And it has helped. I mean, it being able to talk to people and read them. I mean, because you do have to learn in bartending. And some of those other jobs you talked about, like kind of how to like see, beneath the surface and read cues. And so, yeah, I guess I would agree. That's a fair statement.
Yeah. Now, what have you found to be some of the tools, some of the resources that you relied on as you started to build your success in this business? Was it a CRM? Was it a transaction system? What are some of the tools that you have found to be most helpful?
So I'm cut from a different cloth. Like I read all the books and I watched all the coaches and all the big time people, and everyone, swear by this CRM, I have an Excel spreadsheet and I have a calendar. I would say I mostly learned by watching other people's failures of what not to do, and kind of took what I thought would work from the traditional end, and then just added what worked for me. And that happens to be kind of old school. And like, I have a spreadsheet for everybody. I have everybody's birthday, everybody's phone numbers. I have my social media reminds me stuff. So, KV Core, when we moved from our last brokerage here, KV Core was a huge, different, shift for us as far as the CRM that we have. And I definitely do appreciate a lot of the thing. I mean, it has a lot of value, but I'm not really married to any CRM.
Yeah. See, what I like about what you said is it's not one size fits all. I think you shared with me one of your breakthroughs was when you kind of learned what other people were and you were trying to do what they did. But once you became yourself, that's when you had your big breakthrough, when you learned the process, but then you made it your own.
Yeah, that was like just a pivotal moment. Was like I see all these people, helping others think bigger. I've always been an inquisitive person. I've always, thought further than just what I'm told. And I was like, but the foundation of all of this, the thing that because everyone's like, what's that secret sauce? What's that secret sauce? And the secret sauce is, number one, be yourself, but also learn the process. There is no fast pass from A to Z consistently without a solid process and foundation. And you can tweak things along the way. Like you can add to, take away. Maybe you have, a ton of people doing the extra work you don't want to do for you. Maybe you have one person, but there is a legitimately solid process when it comes to real estating well. So learn that, and then add your own stuff.
And then be yourself. Now, you also mentioned, I think, that that, when you're doing a lot of transactions like you do, that transaction desk, one of the tools that we have was something that you see very, very valuable. What do you see in transaction desk that helps you be more efficient, more effective, and more successful?
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was a dot loop girl, and when we had a transition, I bought it. I even bought my own little dot loop account. And transaction desk, I'm a very much in learning the process. I'm a set and forget what I can in my process.
Mm-hmm.
And transaction desk has just allowed me to literally just set up my templates the way that I want it, pre-fill everything. So literally all I'm doing when I'm creating my transactions is plugging information that varies per my client.
Right.
I love that it has the cascading effect to where
Mm-hmm.
like one person can sign it, then I sign it, then the other person, like, so it's not just like everybody signing it at different times, and it blocks, one person's question will block another person's question.
Yeah.
And it's just a really easy flow. Like I really enjoy transaction desk.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, mental toughness. Has mental toughness always been, we're going to share a story here in a minute, but it's about mental toughness. Have you always been mentally tough? Is that something you've since childhood learned? How did you build your mental toughness into your who you are?
Great question. Yeah, I didn't even learn what mental toughness was until I became a realtor, and I didn't realize people weren't just born with it. My biological father was very abusive to me from the time that I was a baby till the last time when he tried to kill me at 2. And so that's kind of where all my mental toughness started. I was able to survive multiple years as an infant in attacks that should have rightfully killed me, and here I am, 40 years old. So and then I've just had a couple of other really traumatic events happen throughout my life, and I just kind of go into a mindset that a lot of people I've learned don't have. Like I always look for the positive. I face, like I tell people, I get up in the morning and I look at all the stuff that's going to be wrong with the day. Like this transaction's terrible. This is something I don't like. I'm still, 10 pounds overweight. Like all this, I get all that negativity out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, okay, now what do we have to do? I acknowledge the bad feelings. I don't run from them because they're there. So I don't fight them. I acknowledge them. And then I just keep it moving forward.
Now, one of the stories you shared with me about mental toughness is you were in some situation where you were attacked and literally almost died. And 20 minutes later, you're in the police station negotiating an offer with a client.
Yeah, that's a true story. That story has blown my mind to even be able to tell. I was brutally attacked and almost killed. I was hit in the head 75 plus times, strangled with bare hands and a purse strap. And I still had to negotiate a contract. I didn't have like an assistant. I didn't have a big team. And I had clients that were in Korea that really needed a home. And I had submitted the offer like the night before, and the agent and the clients were like blowing up my phone. When are they going to answer? We need to talk about these terms. And I had to compose myself. And literally there's a guy waiting to take my statement and take all the pictures of my injuries. And I was just like, just give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. I just need to talk to this person. And I was able to negotiate for my clients, and they ended up getting that house.
Wow. And as I'm sure that brings the emotions of that time back up, but what's amazing about this story, and what's so important for others to hear this story, is as independently, owned and operated independent contractors, you don't earn money if you don't produce, right? It's not like you have a paycheck coming in every week. And so when these things happen in our lives, whether it's this or other things, so many of us shut down. And that's when we get ourselves, really in financial trouble, where you had to go through something very tough and realize, hey, not only do I need to serve the client, I still need to feed the family. And then you went on about taking care of of obviously your recovery and injuries and those things. But I can't imagine having to go through that.
Well, thank you for saying that. And yeah, I mean, that at the end of the day, like I don't get it. I don't get a paycheck. I'm not married anymore. So, I don't have my bills covered, and I got to do what I got to do. And, as much empathy as many people would have, knowing that, I was just, brutally attacked. My client still needed a house, and those sellers still needed to sell. And if I had to suck it up for 15 minutes to make that happen, and so I could so I could breathe for a day to collect myself, then that's just kind of what I felt like I had to do.
Yeah. Now, it reminded me that you never know what someone's going through. Someone might be a little testy with you or a little snippy, and that's not normally who they are. But you just really never know what's going on in their life behind the scenes, right?
Yeah, that was another big eye opener for me. Is so in having just a very trauma filled life, there's lots of things that will trigger me, and triggers are things that I am not fully aware of. And so they cause me to respond maybe a little bit shorter with someone, maybe with a little bit less patience. And I know I was not the nicest person to the agent on the other end. And it's really hard to explain things like that, like having to bare your soul, your most personal, shame, or everyone says, oh, it's business, keep it professional, like, and sharing something terrible that happened in your personal life doesn't necessarily feel appropriate. And so that caused me to maybe not be as nice as patient. And so later on in the deal, when I was more comfortable sharing what had happened, I said, hey, I'm not usually this person. This is what has been happening in my world. And I'm sorry, this transaction hasn't been the greatest. And he was, super kind, and we moved past it. But now when somebody's having a bad day, when an agent is short with me, when maybe they're rude, or they say something that I don't like, I stop and think, like, maybe this is the worst day of their life, but they have to keep moving to make sure that tomorrow isn't just as bad, or the next day isn't just as bad. Maybe they just got assaulted. Maybe they, are getting a divorce. Maybe their dog died. Maybe, like, I don't know what I don't know. So I try to give all the agents I work with a little bit more grace, especially when I feel like, oh, wow, there's an attitude. And so having that empathy and just emotional awareness, I think is really key, and has helped me in my business.
Not taking it personally, it's more than likely something else in their life. It's not you. And so that's been one of your keys to success.
Yeah. And I hate that. Like, I hate that saying, like, oh, it's not personal. This is my business. This is how I eat. This is how I provide. Of course it's personal.
It is.
And then having that message light switch on in my head, I go, okay, something personal is happening to them, because Sonia didn't do anything. I wasn't mean. My transaction coordinator wasn't sure. We didn't do anything. This person just needs a little more grace.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, you just never know what's going on in other people's lives. And I'm so glad you shared that story. Well, as we wrap up this episode, you specialize, tell them a little bit about the area that you're an expert in, and how to get a hold of you for referrals coming into your area.
Oh, thank you for that. Yes. So I specialize in first-time homebuyers, mostly the military community. Anyone PCSing to or from Maryland, I am your girl. My business partners have some sort of military connection, whether prior service, military spouse. So, like, we get military moves because we've lived the military life. So give me a holler. I also specialize in training new agents to become awesome. So if you're looking to be a realtor, give me a call. We have a really great program at the brokerage. My phone number is 443-720-9491. And my email is Sonia, SONIA, at g2gmilitarymoves.com. And you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn. The only thing I don't have is an OnlyFans. So anywhere else on social media, you can find me.
All the social channels. Well, there we go. Well, Sonia, thanks so much for sharing your story with us today. I'm so happy that KV Core and Transaction Desk are becoming foundations of your success. They're great tools that we offer here at JPAR, and they're pretty amazing.
Thank you for having me. And I'm just so grateful that JPAR showed up in my world, and I get to be a part of the JPAR family. It's really awesome.
Yep, and we're blessed as well. And that's a wrap for this episode of Success Superstars. Until we see you again, may your choices reflect your hopes and not your fears.